Hey everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, and here we are on video 3 already of the SS France. So this video, I start off on the right behind the second funnel on the Superstructure, and they molded a pool into there that doesn't exist. So when I first started, I thought I was building a pool. Then I had posted a picture on Facebook. Somebody had noticed that it wasn't a pool, and I had already kind of made the pool, but really it's just a racquetball court or a tennis court or whatever. So I ended up covering the pool back over midway. I had to delete partial parts of the video, so if it's a little choppy, I apologize for that, because there was no sense in going through another pool when we didn't do that. But it definitely had a lot of there's a lot of modification in this video, building that housing that kind of goes around it, and then both of the funnel deck houses are not accurate. They were sunk down, and I don't know, they added a skylight in there and another, well, there was the pool and just all kinds of crazy stuff that didn't actually exist. So we got that rectified. But yeah, this video took a lot of modification, we'll say that. But thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start on this deck first, prepping it. So what you can see here, I printed out some life rafts, and they're going to replace these here. And I do believe a couple of them are stacked, so they got to dry, and then I got to run it through the UV. But a few things that need to happen with this. One, we're going to have to build up the funnel a little bit. Not the funnel, but the base of the funnel, because it shouldn't be flat like this. Two, the steps are going to have to come off. I did get my steps today, so they came in the mail, so I'm all excited about them. So to do that, I'm just going to cut them off, and then I'll file it back down. Then obviously I'm going to have to trim off where those life rafts are embossed onto the model, since we won't be using them. And man, as I'm looking at this is going to be a taping nightmare to do all the taping, because basically all of the deck or roof surfaces, whatever you want to refer to this as, this is all green, and then this is all white. Now, the one thing I do like about this model, I will say, there hasn't been a lot of positive that I've said about the model itself, but the detail that it has in the superstructure for windows, that's a nice touch. So I'm kind of happy with that. I will look also if what the real ship had, for if there was any kind of window frames, because I do actually have a bunch of 1350 window frames for Titanic from the Minicraft set, because I bought a second set of PE, and they may or may not work, so I'll have to check that out, but we'll see as we're going here. But yeah, so my thought process on this is basically I'm going to paint the white first, because it'll be harder to cover white with green, or green with white, if I would do it second. So we're going to do that first, and we have one more staircase back here that's going to come off. And I'm going to try to keep that little piece of deck that is right there. And I'll look more on pictures of it to see if that is going to be a thing, or if I need to just get rid of that altogether. But now, yes, there's another bit of flashing right there. Now it's going to be all about kind of cleaning up the flashing on here, and then I got to build roofs roofy, I don't know. So I got to build the roof for those funnel areas there. So this might be a little bit of effort to get this where I want it to be, but I do think it will pay off in the long run. So yeah, we're just gonna have to bear with it. And this video, I don't know if this is gonna be a 1 or 2 video shot here when it comes down to it, because there is a fair amount of work that's gonna need to go into this. It has these cut out doorways too. I want to look on the real ship if they were true, because if they're not, I'll cover them with the doors that I got. I wanted to show them anyhow. I'll pause it here. I think I left them upstairs a minute. This here, I'm gonna have to trim these off too, which for that I'm gonna end up using more of a flat blade. This one might work. These should pretty well just kind of come off. And I know they're going to leave a little bit of a mark, and I mean, I could sand it down, but I'm kind of okay with the mark because that'll potentially give me my marking for the real ones, or the 3D printed ones. One other thing I got to look at here is this little structure here, because this is all covered on the real ship. So I'm a little perplexed with what that is, or if they molded something that wasn't there or what, but it's definitely not legit, or it wasn't legit on the real ship unless it was like some kind of early rendition. Or the other factor I thought about was potentially back when they designed this model back in the 50s, maybe they used a deck plan that didn't end up being used when they built the real ship. So I guess that could be a potential too. But I really don't have the answer to that. So I don't know if any of the viewership does. It might be interesting. Like I said in the last video, I by no means think this is a great quality of model, but I do understand, you know, why. And I do understand that, like, it's not Glencoe or whatever. This was Ideal Toys, and they were trying to build something that you can basically use as a starter model, I guess. But it is a good baseline that at least I can do something with it. So, all right, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna go grab my photo etch that I just got. We'll open that up, take a look at it, and I want to take a study of these real quick before I start cutting it out, because I'm going to use styrene basically to cover that in. But yeah, we're going to check that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the back one here, I'm doing very similar to what I did in the last video for doing the decks. So this is tinfoil. Now, looking at the pictures up to about here, it looks like there's actually glass lift-off roofs. So I'm going to verify that, but in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and cut this and start getting it to shape. And then if I just have to cut off the back, I will. So it won't be that big of a deal. But I'm like 99% sure now that that's what I'm looking at in the pictures. But I just want to verify it in a deck plan before I cut it and do stuff that I shouldn't. So I'm using a bit of a thinner styrene on this, just because I want to be able to cut it easier and not have to deal with it being real thick and not wanting to cut in the scissors well. So, like I said, it may end up being a little bit big, but we'll get it to shape fairly quickly. And then the front one, this definitely completely covers, so I have no idea what that's supposed to be, but I did verify it in a picture that it does not get that, so why they molded that in is beyond me, but it is what it is. And a little bit big, but that's okay. Down here, yeah, it's pretty much all the way across the board. It's a little big. So I'm just gonna kind of trim my way back a little on it. And it does sink in, but not much. So I still want the outer edge to be white there, basically, where this sticks up. And I just want this to kind of ride down in between it, if that makes sense. So hopefully I can kind of get that to happen just through some trimming. Still need a little bit more. It seems to be on this side here, seems to be lining up better, so I want to trim it off this side. Okay, we're good down here at the end, but then it widens out more than I need it to. And I don't have that curve happening well enough right here. So, okay, now pretty much there. No, not quite. Basically from here up needs to trim out more. Okay. We're almost there. I need to go start to angle this a little bit more here. Very close, very, very close. So I need to lose a little bit right there. And I considered painting this off the ship, but I don't think I probably will. We're almost dead on now at this point. It looks like right here I need to trim just a touch on that curve. I'm gonna have to put something down inside of there too, I think, to support this up. So I'll have to build it up a little, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Okay, so that needs a little bit more curvature there, or less curvature. Okay, good. Happy with that. it really is right in here that needs more at this point. So if I don't get it pretty darn close on this one, I'll probably pause and then work it a little bit off camera, just because I think you're pretty much getting the point of what I'm trying to do here. That brought us very close there. Looks like I just need to trim a little bit on the edge there. And then I'm gonna have to do the same thing up on the forward one. Tiny bit right there. Okay, I have a feeling that this should be about where I want it now at this point. Right there. Voila. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't think I could get it too much closer than that. I'll have to fill in a little bit right there on that front edge, but I got what I need. So now I need to see if I need to cut this off back here to make if I'm supposed to make that a glass roof or not. But let me check that out, and I'll probably make this one up a while, and I'll be right back. Okay, so yes, this gets cut off here, which I already did, and this is actually a pull. It's supposed to be a pull. It's kind of drawn in there, or not drawn, but molded in. So that's cool. We can kind of use that. This is actually supposed to come out to here, and it kind of curves like that. So I'm going to need to build the extension here, and then this pull had like clear, well, window slats that would go up and kind of raise like that basically. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that, or if I'm just gonna cover it with glass, because that would be fairly easy. The other little treat is that this should actually kind of come down like that and then back up. So I'm gonna cut that little bit out right there to get the effect that I'm supposed to go for, or trying to go for, so it kind of has an outdoor part. But then this stays solid here. The wall, however, it's windows, so I'm gonna try to cut the windows in too. So I got a lot of fabrication to kind of work on here, but we do at least have the roof. So I'm excited about that. To cut this, I'm just gonna kind of use my nipper and cut it down first, and then I'm just gonna kind of hopefully work my way over, and that worked basically how I wanted it to. I just don't want to go too far down either. And I don't want to cut that little piece off that's supposed to go up. So I think I'm going, oh, no, that's not where I was going up yet. Okay, good. I was worried about that. I thought I cut too far, but I did not. And then I'll get it to a certain point like this, and then the rest of it will be a file. Like right here in the center, I'm gonna have to file that. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Okay. That worked okay. beautiful. So now from here I can just file it. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to cut these windows. I'll probably end up doing the drill routine. That's probably my best bet at this. Or I could even cut the whole thing out and then just make new like grilling or grills with the with styrene, which that would also work fairly well. I don't know. I'll figure that out once I get this smoothed out. So I'm just going to take my file here and kind of start working it across. And if I do it across like this, that should keep them pretty level too. So that's kind of what my plan is. And I'll use a rounded file when I get to the edge here. Okay, so I'm almost there. And just about there. It's just a little bit high yet. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So now let me get a round file on that curved edge there. If I can find my round file. I rarely use the round one. This one's curved. There it is. That's pretty good. I'll take that. All right. Just got a little bit of I'm gonna have to hit it with a little bit of sandpaper, but all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and drill this out. And I'll probably do that off camera because I got to figure out what exactly I'm going to do here. And then I'm going to have to build these walls to come around here. So let me pause it and I'll be back. Okay, so the pool that's here can't be here. It actually needs to be about one deck lower. So we're cutting that out too. The reason for that is that when I went to start cutting out the windows for the back here, that would then put the pool like right in the middle of that, which one wouldn't make sense, and two, you can't get it out without cutting the pool out. So that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. At this point, we're doing a lot of modifying anyhow, and I mean, I get it. I appreciate the fact that they tried to put the pool in. It just isn't where it needs to be. But that kind of also explains why they didn't put the top on here, so they could make that detail in there. But we're gonna fix it and make it better. So yeah, I have that all drilled out, obviously. And once I get this cut off, I'll end up taking these railings off that they molded in, and I'll use photo etch ones when I do the new pool, which will be down here essentially. So yeah, like I said, this video, like the modification to the superstructure, may be longer than a not longer than a normal video, but it's not going to be a one video, I don't think. I think there's going to be a lot of correction to do to try to get this to be a little bit more legit and real. So right now what I'm doing is cutting off the ladders there. Okay. And so far, everything's coming along well, so I can't really complain about that. I guess I feel bad because I slammed this model in the first video, and I actually am kind of enjoying it. I like doing these type of builds where you're getting to scratch build and all that kind of stuff, so I can't be too complainy about this. Okay, now how I have that cut, this should just come out. But for some reason, it's not quite yet. I might not have gotten through all the way. And I'm trying to keep the top part intact, which I've already cut all the way across, so that's not holding it. It's got to be that. There it goes. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just straighten these off, and I am going to end up doing the styrene that I was talking about for the windows. I think I'm just going to get a better overall look doing it that way, and it should be, I wouldn't say easier, but just a better presentation. That's the word I'm looking for. So I want to get it as straight as I can. Because I essentially need 4 windows to go across, maybe 5. Yeah, it's 5 windows. I'm gonna have to fit 5 windows on that, and that's getting fragile right there, so I'm gonna end up kind of cutting it down with the file the rest of the way, just so I don't damage it. So basically like that. Now the beautiful thing is our deck can actually glue right to the bottom of this, and I just keep a hole for the pool. So that's how that's going to work. Now what these walls would have been, I don't know if the walls would have actually been there, but since they're going to be covered with the new roof and the other part there, I'm not that worried about it. So essentially that's going to kind of ride like that. This will become a wall here instead of those ladder tops, so I can take them off. I want to do it from this side so I don't risk cutting the wrong thing there. Where did my Looking for my little nippers. Oh, there they are. And just need a little bit more trimming of that, or not trimming, but filing of this. It looks real good now. And a little bit more on the edge here. Good. And I'll do a little bit more on this one too. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to need a filing stick. What grit are they? 180. Okay. Okay, so now I'll be able to put my wall up right there the rest of the way. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. So this I checked, I do keep that. Not that that's really what I'm working on right now, but I just thought about it as I was going here. So now I'm going to just cut a new wall to the size I need it to be. And I'd rather go a little bit bigger than I need to. And then I'll put putty on it to smooth that in. Oh, that didn't work so hot, huh? Luckily the back side here should. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to mark it and cut it. Okay. Now this should fit perfect in here. If I can hold the darn thing. Yes, good. Okay, so I'm going to glue that on quick. Uh-oh. That was a big blob of glue. More so than I needed. Okay, and once that sets real well, I'll just dab it with some putty and sand it out smooth. Okay, so that's gonna have to get filed down just a touch, but not much. Ooh, look at that, I'm making rhymes. All right, so next up, I'm going to go ahead and put my strip here. I'm debating whether I want to do it from the outside. Well, I'm going to use the thinner first off, just because it shouldn't be that thick anyway. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'll be okay doing it from the outside, so no worries. Okay, sorry, I'm just having issues getting it to set. I probably have too much glue. And I know I'm off camera right now. I apologize. But all I'm doing is putting a styrene strip on. Okay, sorry. Kind of curved there, which I didn't necessarily want. I don't like that on the outside. I'm going to end up doing it on the inside. A little bit more. Okay, that was too much. So anyway, I'm going to work on doing this and then I'll come back. I know this is probably kind of boring here, so let me work on it and I'll be back. Okay, so I want to show kind of what I'm doing here. Hopefully this focuses a second. All right, so there's two windows right here. So I just drilled them out and kind of elongated them with my knife. And then over here, there's supposed to be windows that run along here. So I did the same thing, and all I did then was glue some 1-200 ladders on. So I'm getting ready to do that same thing over here, but that gives us a pretty convincing window. So pretty happy with how they are turning out, but I just wanted to show that quick. Okay, so I started this building back here, thinking this, not building, but this deck house back here, thinking it was a pool because that's what the kit had there. So I may, over the next couple parts of this video, kind of be talking about it as a pool. It is not a pool. It is supposed to be a racquetball court. So you can see I actually built a pool in there, and I'm now covering that in. And then I will paint that like wood or put wood down, or I'll paint it brown. I don't know. I gotta look at what color I think it might have been, and then we will make that into a racquetball court. So unfortunately the kit obviously had it look like a pool. It's not a pool, so it is what it is, but now it's not a pool anymore anyhow. So there's that. But I do apologize because I know I'll be kind of probably referring to it as a pool in the next couple minutes on the video because I already filmed them. So I'm going back and kind of readjusting that as we go here. But I don't know. I'm going to say it at the beginning too, so hopefully y'all get that and understand that I was basically going by what was there in the model and not looking at an actual floor plan, so my apologies. I did delete that whole section of the video, and like I said, now I'm refilming this part of it to make that clear. Alright, so from here we got this to go on next, and I'm going to need to build that up just a little bit. So to do that, it's going to need to be not real high, but I'm going to just end up using some popsicle sticks, I think. Oh boy, that's big. Wow. So I want that to be just a little bit lower than the deck house roof here, which that will put it right about there. So this way, when I put the roof on, it can basically support what we're doing here. And that looks like that's going to be fine on the back end, and I might need a second one up on the front. And I know that's where the funnel is supposed to attach, which obviously it will just above now. Too big. That's a little bit higher than I want. So I'm going to use a piece of styrene for this one. I thought that was longer. There we go. That one will fit. So the real pool that goes down on the fantail, that is now dry. I think it's been 2 days since I did it. I knocked my ladder over, but there you go. It's still got a little bit of white in the corners there, but that'll continue to dry. But there we go. We got some water. Here, I need that to be just a little bit more, less than a popsicle stick, but more than what I currently have. So that little piece there will work. Now, this should basically fit right how I want it. I might not actually need that little piece of plastic there. It seemed to be better without. Yep, there we go. So that will land pretty much right there. And this will be green, that roof part. I'm just going to run some right along the edge here, especially up here, because there's a couple little spots that weren't perfect on the cut. So hopefully that kind of helps to fill that in a little. There we go. No, don't go in there. I don't want it to drop down that far. we go. Okay, wonderful. So there's the first one on. Now up here, we have this goofy skylight that didn't exist. I'm just grabbing one of the frontals a minute. So that now will go basically just like that. And obviously it doesn't have the top on there right now, but you can kind of get the idea. So that'll work. Okay, so up here I got the same scenario going on. This does not exist on the ship, so we're going to need to cover that over, and I'm going to do basically the exact same thing where I use the tin foil to make a shape. I'm just trying to get this in there a little bit better. That's good. This is going to be kind of a nightmare to tape off, in all honesty. Just looking at it, I'm really not looking forward to that part. So anyway, I'm going to get this traced out, and we'll go ahead and put our cover on this. So this basically just has to come straight back and then down. So not a whole heck of a lot that is going to have to be done with it. I did clean up the steps that were back here, so that's all ready to go. Hopefully you can see that. I got a little bit of sanding to do, but nothing major. And I'm really happy with how those windows turned out, looking at them again. But yeah. So anyway, I'm going to get this traced out and cut, and we'll be back. Okay, so I got the back wall on here, and it looks like there's a vent here. I'm going to get some more pictures before I go and do anything, but pretty sure there's a vent. Oops, wrong one. I had to cut a second one. And this basically just fits right in here. This one fits real nice. Wait a minute. I gotta see something. I'm mildly worried that I cut a piece off the back of this that I needed. Oh no, okay, that was good. Where'd the tweezer? That one wasn't quite dry there, so I'm gonna reset that. And I'm gonna just hit it with that, so. Alright, so I gotta figure out, it seems that this spot right here is a little bit high for what we need. So we're gonna cut that down. Yes, that will be better on that end. Up towards the front here though, I do think I'm going to need a piece of wood there. And I'm just looking at the cross of it so I could see how far down it sunk. And my lifeboats just printed, so I'm excited about them. They turned out pretty darn good. A lot better than the first run around with them. So I'll show them here in a second. Just want to see how this fits. Oops. That almost works, except for there. So in the front here, it's going to need the cross support, but not so much on the back end there. So let's try that. There we go. That's pretty much perfect. Okay, beautiful. So they're still drying, but there we go. These look a heck of a lot better than what the kit has, so I'm pretty darn happy with them. Next up, I gotta print the davits out, so at least I got them. But yeah, I gotta let them dry, and then I gotta do the UV bake on them. And yeah, I'm gonna glue this roof down. And once I get the roof glued down, there is a little bit of filling that I'm going to have to do on both of these deck house roofs, which I'm really not surprised about, because I mean, I just can't cut perfect as much as I'd love to. I got the general shape, but I'll have to do a little bit of filler probably. But it really shouldn't take too much. Okay. So there's that, and that funnel basically fits right there. So we got the look that we're looking for. I'm pretty happy. I don't like that little spot right there. I need to trim while this is still wet glue. Sorry, I know I'm not talking much. I'm just trying to get this to fit where it needs to. That's better. Got a little bit of a crack there, but nothing major. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So next up, I got to look at this whole area and this whole area. But I think I'm going to probably do that in the next video, just because this is probably starting to get long. So we're gonna call this the racquetball court and funnel video, I guess, or funnel base video. So that's where we're at with that. You can see this has some bowing to it too, which is going to be annoying. So I'm going to figure out that. It definitely has kind of a twisted look like that, but we'll get through that. So nothing major there. Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next time here on LC Model Shipbuilding.